In this video, I will show you how to use VS Code to connect to an OpenClaw VM on Google Cloud. So here is a quick demo, and you can see that my VS Code is already connected to my OpenClaw VM, which is now running on the Google Cloud. And it makes the file management much easier. So you can check the files on this VM, such as the memories, the skills, the credentials, features. And you can also read those skills and also edit those skills manually. So that's much easier than in the Linux command line. And also you can run those commands in the terminal. So for example, I just typed OpenClaw Dashboard, and this gives me an URL that I can open this URL on my local browser, and I can view that graphic user interface to control my OpenClaw Dashboard. And just keep in mind that when you have this dashboard URL, it's followed by this token, and you should not share this token with other people. All right, so this is a graphic dashboard. So after you copy and paste that URL in your local browser, and you will be able to check the status of your OpenClaw VM, where you can check the channels, the sessions, the usage, like how many tokens that you spend, and also any scheduled jobs. And also what makes this one really powerful is that you can manage your agents, skills, and nodes. So for example, right now we have only one agent, that's our main agent. And if you click those files, you will be able to write the files of those agents. For example, the tools, the memories, and also the skill that we installed for this agent. And if we go to the skill page, and we can see that all the skill that we installed previously. So for example, in our previous tutorials, we created this data scientist skill. So if you want to enable it or disable it, you can see it's very simple to do that. And also you can see the built-in skills. And also in our previous tutorials, we also enabled the Google Workspace skills. So those are all the skills that listed here. All right, so the idea of this tutorial is that how we can use VS Code to connect to a VM on the Google Cloud. And because our OpenClaw is now running on this Google Cloud, so we can use our VS Code to control our AI agent. So once we have this connection that's been set up, and we're able to manage the files in our VS Code, and also we're able to open that graphic user interface of the dashboard. All right, so let's start. So first, you have to install the VS Code on your local computer. And once you install that, so you go to the extensions and you search SSH. So that is called Remote SSH. So just install and also enable that extension. And once you did that, so you will have this extension that is installed here. So you can see this is my previous connection to my OpenClaw VM. All right, so here is our Google Cloud, and we have a project that is called OpenClaw-demo. And this is a project that hosts our OpenClaw VM. So if we go to the VM instances, and we can see that the VM is here. And so next, you need to install the Google Cloud CLI on your local computer. So this is different from the Google Workspace CLI. The Workspace CLI was used to control your Google Space apps like Gmail, Calendar, etc. And this one, the Google Cloud CLI, is used to control the projects on your Google Cloud. And once you install that one on your local computer, and this is exactly what we're going to do. So this is our local computer that we have the Google CLI that installed. So first we need to authorize our login in our local computer. And then we'll specify which project we want to manage. And once we got authorized and specified the project on our local computers, then we can just get these SSH credentials that stored to our local computer. Okay, so let's do that. And first, so make sure that you have the GCloud installed. So GCloud, and you can see that it is installed. And next, we're going to log in. So if this is your first time to use GCloud, you need to use this authentication login to authorize GCloud to access your Google Cloud project. So let's just type this command. So once you open that URL, and you need to choose which account is associated with your Google Cloud. So just choose the account that has been associated with your Google Cloud, and also give it permission. Now the authorization is success. All right, so here, let's just look at our project in this account. So here I see list project with my Gmail account. And here you can see I have multiple projects. So remember, this is the one that is used to control my Google Cloud VM. And this one is created from our previous tutorials. that to set up the Workspace APIs. So next, we need to specify that which project we are going to use. So we see GCloud configure set project to be this project. Again, that one that control our Google Cloud VM. Okay, so now you can see we updated project to be our OpenClaw demo. And next, let's also set up the time zone that is set up. And next, we're going to check the number of the VM that are running in this project. Okay, so very nice. So you can see here, we do have one VM that's running on this project, which is exactly this VM that's running on the Google Cloud. All right, so next, we're going to SSH to this VM by using a GCloud first. So we just run this command that is GCloud computer SSH. And so we can test this connection. I say accept. Okay, now we are able to SSH with our GCloud. So you can see we are able to connect to our VM. Okay, so that connection is a success. So next, we're going to export the SSH configurations to our local computer. So let's run it. And now that is a success. So here we go back to our VS Code, and also we open this SSH extension. Let's just open this configuration, and also let's look at this ssh.configure file. So what we can see now is that this is my old configuration files. That is the one that I used to connect to my VM info account. And this is a new configuration file that Google Cloud just created. So we can see the host name and also the SSH credentials are stored. Okay, so we need to change one more item before we connect to this VM. That is a username. So because our default username is our local Windows username, and which might be different from your Google Cloud account username. So here you need to type your Google account username. And now if you save it, and you can see now we have a new connection that is now being created. So now let's just connect to this VM, which is my OpenClaw demo project. So let's connect. Once we use GCloud to get the authorized SSH key to our local computer, and what we did is that we use our VS Code to read these config files, where they can also access the private keys that generated by the GCloud. And then we just use VS Code to connect to the OpenClaw using the generated key. We're able to read and also change the files in the VS Code. We can run the commands that in the terminal. We can also just open the dashboard in our local computer. Okay, great. So now you can see we have successfully connected to our OpenClaw demo project VM. And so here you can see this is our main agent. So we have only one agent. And if we go to the .openclaw folder, and we can find out the workspace. And from there, you can look at the skill that we created. So that is our data analyst skill that we generated in our previous tutorial. So if you like, you can just change it from here. And also, if you go to look at your memory, you can see those are the memory files. So if you open it, you can look at those memories. And also, you can check other configurations for those agents. For example, like the identity tools and also tools. So if you open the tools, you can see all the tools that we defined for this AI agent. And also you can just type those comments from here. All right, and now you can see this is status of our OpenClaw. And looks like we have an update that is available. So let's update that. So OpenClaw update. And now you can see the OpenClaw is now updating. All right, so now the OpenClaw has been successfully updated. And let's also try to open the dashboard. So we type the command OpenClaw Dashboard. And now we can see we have this URL. So as I said earlier, the URL allows you to open this dashboard on your local computer. And it also followed by the token. So we should not share the token with other people. So let's just click on this URL. And now you can see we connected to our dashboard. So that's a graphic interface where you can actually see that the chat history. So that is the one that we have in the previous tutorial that we use OpenClaw to create the announcement on our Google Classroom. And we can also check the overviews, and we can also look at the channels. So here we have only one channel that is connected with our Telegram. And if you look at sessions, so those are the sessions that we have. And also, we can also look at the token that we use. So let's see the past 30 days, and let's refresh. Okay, so here we can see that in the past 1 month, we have over 300 messages, and the cost is probably, because we're using Gemini 3.1 Pro, so the cost is about less than $20. And also here are the usage. So the input and output. OpenClaw spent a lot of tokens that is input, because OpenClaw will search the content of the conversation, so that we spend most of the tokens on their input. And also here you can see we don't have any scheduled jobs, so that's why it is empty. And if we go to the agent again, so that's our main agent, you can just look at the information. So for example, if you go to agent files, you'll be able to check the agents.md file. And also you can see the soul, and you can see the tools. So the tool that we provided to this agent. And again, if you go to the scales, so you can see that is a scale that we set up in the workspace. And if we go down, again, we'll see that those are the Google Workspace CLI scales. So you can just enable or disable those scales. Okay, so that is a full workflow of connecting a VS Code to an OpenClaw VM on Google Cloud. And once this is set up, it becomes much easier to manage files on the VM, work with your OpenClaw folders directly, and access a dashboard through a more convenient interface. So this gives you a much better foundation for managing skills, credentials, memory, and live sessions as your OpenClaw setup becomes more advanced.